I used to be a very good kid, straight A student. I was an athlete, football player, and wrestler.
I was a very good girl. I did great in school. I was an athlete. I was a good kid. When I was 17, I was complaining to a friend about my back hurting. So they handed me a pill and took it, trusting them, and felt fantastic. That began a 2-year kind of search for more pills, more painkillers. I would steal them from friends' houses. I would snoop in everybody's cabinets. I would look my hardest to find these pills.
I can see it in some of the students I coach, but I couldn't see it in my own kid.
We were good parents. We were involved, we talked, I told Michael and my daughter at a young age, don't do drugs.
He broke both collarbones, one playing football, one doing wrestling. So for all of those injuries, he received narcotics for the pain. And he had told me one time that he liked the way they made him feel.
Someone handed him an Oxycontin pill, him and his friends, and he said, try this. And apparently they all tried it, and Michael instantly liked it. He just said, wow, I like this.
When I started doing it, I was like, oh, I see why you do this. It really makes you feel like you can do anything. You're the king of the world. Nothing can stop you.
It was about 7 months before I knew that he was on heroin from the time that he started using.
Watch the people he hangs out with, because as soon as they become an addict, their childhood friends or close friends are no longer hanging out.
Well, the isolating himself, the wanting to be gone constantly, never wanting to be at home, never wanting to be with the family. Actually, there was a few times that we found foil, and I didn't know what foil was. I didn't know what he would possibly be using it for. Spoons went missing in our house. On the door frame, we would see black marks. But, I didn't put 2 and 2 together. I didn't know.
His personality changed. He was angry all the time. His sleep patterns changed. His eating patterns changed. He was disappearing for hours at a time. We couldn't find him. He was a very good student, very good grades, and then all of a sudden he had no interest in school.
He was rude, and he was arrogant, and he was better than everyone, and he was better than me, and he became this awful person that I didn't know.
When I confronted Jared about it, he said, well, it's not heroin, it's Oxycontin.
The chemical similarities of heroin and, say, Oxycontin are striking. If you put both chemical structures side by side, it is almost impossible to tell the difference between heroin and Oxycontin. Oxycontin now is going for about $1 a milligram. And Oxycontin comes in 20, 40, 60, and 80 milligram tablets. So one 80 milligram tablet is gonna bring in 80 bucks. That's a lot of money for somebody to spend on one tablet for a high that they can get just as easy from heroin or a lot cheaper on the street.
We literally told him that he could not stay at our house any longer if that was going to be his lifestyle. He needed to leave. To his credit, about 10 o'clock at night, he texted me. And that's when he openly admitted that he was a user and an addict. And I told him, I said, if you're sincere about this and this is what you want to do, then you can come back, but there are going to be rules and there are going to be boundaries. And so that's how we started our new life. And we agreed to go through detox with him.
It's a lifelong battle. You send them off to college and you think, it's over. So then when the first relapse happens, reality really slaps you in the face. When the second relapse happens, again, you're naive to think a 30-day inpatient has cured your child. You don't think. You don't even have time to think. You just jump into what's my next plan. And there was always the next plan. And I used to joke, plan A, plan B, plan C. I had a plan D, when the night Michael died, because I knew he was still struggling.
I get the phone call on a Wednesday afternoon, and answer the phone, and it's the doctor at Medical City Center in Dallas saying, do you know a Jared Zaley? And I said, yes, I'm his mother. And he says, well, he had an overdose. You need to come to Dallas immediately. He was on a ventilator waiting for organ donors because he had it on his driver's license that he wanted to be an organ donor. So through the tragedy, he did end up saving 3 people's lives. So we found some kind of comfort in that. But it was horrific. Worst nightmare anyone could ever go through.